What is up, YouTube, and welcome back. It's your boy Mandarin Metal, and we are back on F1 23. I know it's been a week since I've last uploaded some F1 videos, but we are back and we are in Hungary. And the most important thing that has happened at this Grand Prix is that we have gotten a contract renewal over here. Fittipaldi's contract is now over. Now we have the choice. Do we renew it, or do we go with someone new? Do we go with someone with more experience? Because we do have the income. We've been saving up for a potential driver that could join our team, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're looking through the list. We're just trying to weigh up our options. Is it viable? And we're looking at maybe signing Mark Webber. He is on the list, not a bad choice at the moment. With getting a new driver, we do get experience, we get a better performance. So hopefully, this will help us start scoring more points for the team. So that is my mentality, or at least my mindset going forward. We want to aim for better drivers later on, maybe going into the next season, but we do approach Mark, and we are going to offer him a medium risk contract. So we're offering him 3 mil. Hopefully he does accept this offer, and we do approach him, and let's have a look. Does he accept? Yes, he does. He has signed the contract, so we do have a new driver for the next 6 months. For the second half of this F1 season, we've got a new driver, and that's what we need. We need someone to help score us points. It's nothing against Fittipaldi, but at the moment, I am the sole points winner for the team, and it's not great. We are fighting for championships here. We are fighting for at least position in the championship. And with each position, we gain more income, which is what we want. We are still developing our car, and we're hoping to at least, bring some new upgrades. We've got a couple big races approaching here. And we're aiming for some good races in Monza, maybe even in the Netherlands, but that is all going to depend on the upgrades and whether they do end up passing their tests and not failing on us. Now we do get a marketing department scenario, and it's again rivalry, and they're hitting me up with again the Red Bull drivers. But this is crazy. So we've just picked Sergio Perez because I think they're just going to keep giving us this, and if we lose the rivalry, it is what it is. We're not too worried about that. So that's what we're doing now. We've chosen Sergio Perez. We've got a few of our components that have passed, and we're just going to skip this Pirelli hot lap. We don't need to do that. We're not worried too much about it. And for the Hungarian Grand Prix, what we are going to do is, because we want to protect ourselves for the later part of the season, we are going to take all new components for this Grand Prix. It means we will be starting at the back of the grid. I actually wish we could have been starting from the pit lane. That's something I really hope they bring into F1 24. It would be something very interesting. If you get a massive upgrade package and you get a penalty, you can start from the pit lane. So we are going to start at the back of the grid. Qualifying is going to mean nothing to us, but let's have a look. We do have a dry weekend ahead, which is what we want, and yeah, it's not looking too bad. So we are going to go out onto the track, and we're just going to do a couple of our practice programs, run a couple laps, making sure we are in tune with this track. Now, the nature of this track, even though it looks like a traditional F1 track, the problem is it's got Monaco vibes. It means it is very difficult to overtake. We only have 2 DRS zones, and they're very short. You've got 1 DRS detection zone, and that is coming out of turn 13, just before turn 14. That is your DRS detection zone. And then, for most of the lap, you're it's difficult because there's not a lot of overtaking opportunities. Now we did go out onto the hard tire, just trying to get ourselves comfortable with the car, with the setup, making sure everything is right. And we haven't run any practice program, so we did end up setting a 120.4, not too bad. And we're going to skip on in the session, and we're going to go on to the soft tires. Now with the soft tires, I don't think our car was liking the soft tires at all, because it was very difficult driving the car with these tires. And you know, at this track you need the tires to switch on, you need the car to respond, otherwise you're going to get swallowed up and you're just not going to be performing the way you want to perform. And as we drive on board with this lap, we're having a look. We are 3/10 up now. Not the fastest first sector, it's actually probably the worst sector that we've had, but we are coming back sometimes. We're on our 7/10 up. Now the sector 2 is probably I would say the most technical part of this track, because of the slow corners and then the fast corners mixed in, and trying to nail everything perfectly, it just makes it very difficult. We are again 7/10 up, approaching the end of the lap, coming out of turn 13, and your DRS detection zone is right there, and getting a good exit out of turn 14. This will set you up for this long straight, and we do end up going a second quicker, but it's only good enough for third spot, and we call it there. We didn't run any practice programs. We ended up fourth, 2/10 down. Not too bad. Norris and Piastri are doing absolutely amazing at this track. Was quite shocked to see the McLaren boys up there. But you know, we will be looking at Lando for a possible seat for next season. Hopefully, we can offer him a car that's going to perform. Yeah, so that's something we will be looking at. Now for practice 2, we are going to go out and we're going to hit all our practice programs. We're doing all 3 practice programs over here, currently doing the race strategy, and we were actually flying on these medium tires, and we kept setting the fastest lap each lap, and it was absolutely amazing. Just lap 5 wasn't the best, but we were still setting some decent lap times, and we've just let Lando through. We don't want to hold him up anymore. And going back, and now we can see the tire wear is great and the fuel consumption is great. So this is a perfect opportunity to actually, bring all those new components into the car, just not worrying too much about it. Hopefully we can claw back some positions in the race. Don't think we'll be winning it, but we take it as it is. Now going out, we are going to do tire management, and again, I don't know if it's just some of the upgrades that we bought, but our tire management was also on point, and we ended up passing the tire management program on the first lap. We didn't have to redo it, and there you have it. You can see where the tire management wasn't the best, and it's those heavy braking zones. That's where we weren't getting the best performance out of the tires. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do ERS, and again we're passing it with flying colors. It's just absolutely amazing. I was really shocked at how well this car is performing at this track, and it's great to see. Hopefully we are going to at least perform well in the race, that we can get some great positions, maybe claw back some points, because we are going to be starting right at the back. And what we did is we actually went out for a flying lap on the soft tires, and as you can see, we were only able to get 4/10 quicker than our best lap time on the medium tires. We are 1.3 seconds off the pace in 6th position. Not the best thing to see. It's not where we want to be, but we take it. This isn't, we aren't scoring points here. We're scoring points in the race, and we're kind of understanding where we are with all of this. and we are heading into qualifying now. We aren't going to do the full qualifying session. What I will do is we are going to go out. We're going to do a hot lap for the qualifying session. I'm going to take you through the track, take you through each corner, and hopefully we are able to do a great session because we don't want to put unnecessary wear on our components. Now, starting our one and only flying lap for the qualifying session in Hungary. Turn 1, DRS wide open here. It's a heavy braking zone, making sure you don't get any wheel spin out of turn 1. Now approaching turn 2. Get a great exit here. You're going to approach turn 3. Here you're going to be up into 7th gear, almost going up into 8th. Heavy braking zone here, approaching turn 4, now turn 5. Trying not to hit the curb, otherwise you will spin. We've set the fastest first sector. Now, the most difficult part of this track is turn 7 and turn 6, but nailing it, you're going to make up a lot of time. Now, turn 8, turn 9, getting some decent times here, approaching turn 10, and here getting a good exit out of turn 11. Now, they can add another DRS zone here, but it is a little short. Approaching turn 12, a heavy braking zone, making sure you get good rotation on the car. Now, the fastest lap is a 1:18.2 by Lando Norris. A great lap from him. Approaching turn 14. Over here, you don't want to go wide, otherwise you will lose a lot of time. DRS wide open onto the straight. And where does it put us? It puts us second, just behind Lando Norris. We are 2/10 behind the McLaren driver. Not a bad first lap by us, but in the end, we ended up 9th position. Carlos Sainz came in first with Charles Leclerc and George Russell. Ferrari drivers are looking like the ones to beat at this weekend. And now we did make it into Q2, but like I said, we are going to call it at that. We're going to retire from the session. We don't want to put unnecessary wear on our components. We're trying to make it through to the rest of the season. We still have a long way to go in this F1 season. The Mercedes boys did lock out the front row in Q2, and we'll have a look at how the grid will be set up for the race when we go through to the race. But now, that's it for qualifying. Not a bad showing, and hopefully we can perform and do our best in the race. So let's have a look.
Welcome to Budapest once again for another round of Formula One action. Historically, a good race for first-time victories, with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the very first time right here. Located 12 miles northeast of the Hungarian capital Budapest, the 14 corners of the Hungaroring are steeped in history and prestige. Overtaking's always been difficult on this technical 2.7-mile track. The last few years in particular have turned up some exceptional races, so let's hope we're in for another one here today. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Sainz, Russell, Leclerc, Perez, Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, Ocon, Stroll, Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Webber, Albon, Zhou, Ricciardo, Sargent, Bottas and Iceman. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And with me today, of course, is Natalie Pinkham. Let's have a chat about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within the team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do. And that has definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
And that is the starting grid for the Hungarian Grand Prix here in Budapest. And let's have a look at our strategy. What are they offering us? And it is the soft to medium tire. We're going to have no rain for the rest of this race, but we're going to invert the strategy. I want us to go on the medium tires. We're going to go long into the race, and then we're going to go onto the soft tires. That's how we're going to start this race. But it is 5 lights, and away we go for the Hungarian Grand Prix, getting a great start. Up into overtake. We've just overtaken 3 cars. We're now in 19th spot, approaching the first heavy braking zone, almost running in the back of our teammate. Now in neutral, and we lose a couple of spots with that small mistake. Not the best start that we wanted. You know, overtaking 3 cars, great, but we could have had a lot more performance out of that corner if we had just been in first gear and not in neutral. But our main focus now will be on the guys ahead of us. Let's have a look at where we end up in this Hungarian Grand Prix. We have 35 laps in this race, and it's a long way to go. Almost hitting the back of Sargent. We had to swerve out of the way, but it's fine. We managed to avoid any kind of contact coming out of turn 8. They are a lot quicker than us in the second sector, so it does make it a little more difficult. We need to be quicker in sector 1 and sector 3 to make up for the deficit that we have in the second sector. Hopefully we can perform a lot better, but now we have called back some time going around turn 13. Now 7 tenths, almost 6 tenths behind Sargent. Lewis Hamilton has just set the fastest lap of this Grand Prix. It means that he might be leading the Grand Prix. It does look like there is a Mercedes boy leading the race, but we are chasing the guys out in front of us. We're not worried about the leader. Now lap 3 going on to lap 4. We are right behind Sargent. ERS up into overtake. DRS is wide open, and we dive down the inside, almost running in the back of Tsunoda, but we managed to avoid contact with Tsunoda, and we do secure the position on Logan Sargent. Now up into 18th spot. Tsunoda is the next person we are going to be hunting down. Let's have a look on lap 5. Up into overtake, DRS wide open, and we are down the inside of Tsunoda, trying to avoid all contact. Now Weber is the next person on our list. DRS is still ongoing here, getting a good exit now. 6 tenths behind our teammate. A great start from us. We are clawing back some positions. We are in 17th. Now we have Weber, then Albon. These guys are going to be next on the chopping block. Do we get a better exit than Weber? Can we overtake him? Late on the brakes and around the outside of Weber. Great, a little bit of wheel spin on the exit of that corner, but we managed to still secure the position. We are now in 16th spot. Zhou and Albon just ahead of us. Let's have a look as we now attack the guys in front. They are on the soft tires. They will be pitting soon, but we are thinking of diving down the inside of Zhou, but there's just not enough room. And here, going a little wide, almost leaving the door open for my teammate. Not the best exit out of that corner. We still keep the position. We are on lap 7 of 35 in the Hungarian Grand Prix. Zhou is next up on the board. On lap 8, we are up into overtake. DRS wide open. We are going to go around the outside of Zhou, trying to avoid any sort of contact, making sure we leave enough space for him as well. And we do secure the position. Now, on lap 9, we are going to try and overtake Albon. Late on the brakes, down the inside of Albon, and we end up securing the position. So this means we are now up into 14th, and next we are chasing down Ocon. Lap 10, he is 1.9 seconds ahead of us, but it was more difficult than I thought it would be. He was actually doing really well, and eventually on lap 14, I think there were some slow cars ahead of him, so this meant that we were able to catch them a lot quicker. Lap 15, we are now within DRS range, but we didn't hit the detection zone, so we will get DRS for lap 16 if we are able to keep with them. They are a lot better than us in the second sector. Now, a lot of the guys around us have decided to pit. We are going to attack Ocon now, thinking of diving down the inside, but we didn't. We thought better of it. Now lap 16, again DRS is now wide open, trying to use as much of our overtake as possible. Now We've been good around the outside, and we are going to do it again, leaving as much space as possible for Ocon. A little bit of contact, but we managed to keep the position. We hold off that position, and we are now up into the points. Great work from us on lap 17. Now lap 21, the guys around us, Verstappen, we have led by. Alonso is breathing down my neck, but they are on fresher tires, and also they're going to be a little bit quicker than us. Our tires are 21 laps old. We are going to head into the pit at the end of this lap because we are struggling a hell of a lot, and we do not want to kill our race. We still want to try and get some points on the board, and if we stay out any longer on these tires, we are just going to kill our race. So before we can do anything else, we will come into the pit. Russell is 4th, Verstappen 5th, myself 6th, Alonso 7th, and Piastri is 8th. But now coming into the pit, we are going to lose a few positions. It looks like we will end up 20th. Now, this is a very important pit stop. Where are we going to end up at the end of this pit stop? Let's have a look. And we are going to go into the soft tires, because this is going to give us the best opportunity for later on in the race, and we do get a perfect pit stop. It is 2.3 seconds. We're hoping to bring that time down eventually, getting a great exit out of the pit lane, making sure we get ahead of Weber, and we do. So we are now up, or we are down in 18th spot, but we are on softer tires, and on lap 23, running a little wide there. Hulkenberg just ahead of us, and then Ocon. On the softer tires, we should be able to make quick work of these two drivers ahead of us. Let's have a look as we get a good exit out of turn 13. Now, try not to run wide in turn 14. Now, DRS zone is going to go here, up into overtake, trying to use as much of our battery as possible, and using the slipstream, and we're going to dive down the inside very late on the brakes, but because we have the grip, we manage to do this without causing any contact. Ocon just ahead of us. He is on the medium tires, but again, it's going to be quick work. Let's have a look. Lap 24. Now, end of 24, very close to Ocon, 3/10, up into overtake. DRS wide open, and he will not be able to defend us. Having to move very quickly out of that braking zone, because we don't want to make any contact with Ocon. We don't want to end our race. Now, lap 32. We were just trying to catch Stroll. He was next on our list. So lap 32, we ended up getting to Stroll with our soft tires, but it was actually more difficult than I thought it was. At this point in the race, the tires were a little worn, and we're going to dive down the inside of Stroll, caught him napping, and he left the door wide open for us, and just again, late on the brakes, and we were able to secure the position. Now, starting our final lap of the race, we are still trying to hunt down Gasly. He is 2.4 seconds ahead of us, but are we able to claw back enough time that we end up in 11th spot? I don't think we will have the pace, but let's ride on board for the final lap of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Getting a good exit out of turn 3. Now turn 4. Stroll 9/10 behind us. Gasly 2.4 seconds behind us. Going through turn 4. Now around turn 5. Approaching the most difficult part of the sector for myself. It is turn 7, then turn 8. Lewis Hamilton does win the Hungarian Grand Prix. He is finally back in the winning seat. Let's have a look as we are going to finish this lap, and it doesn't look like we're going to be able to catch Gasly, unfortunately, but we are showing some good pace. You know, if we didn't take that grid penalty, maybe we would have actually had a decent race, but we clawed back 10 spots, and that's all we could have asked for. Just some hope of performance, and we are going to approach the checkered flag now. It is 12th for us on the grid. Not the result that we were wanting, but it's the result we have to live with. And that is it for the Hungarian Grand Prix. What a race. I do get driver of the day. Great job. We did make up 10 positions in the end, but we just weren't able to score any points for our team. This is going to be a massive knock to the championships. Hamilton wins the race. You have Leclerc coming in second, and you have Russell coming in third. So the two Mercedes are on the top step, and we have a Ferrari. Not too bad. Russell does set the fastest lap of this Grand Prix. And let's have a look. You see, we are now equal points with Sergio Perez. We are 63 points behind in this championship. This championship going into the second half of the season is going to be all to play for. I think we are out of the constructors, but the drivers championship, there is still a lot to play for. But guys, that is it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace. Cheers, guys.